Here.
Steve,
Here.
Brad,
I believe he was gonna call in. Remember, he said he wasn't gonna have a computer? Okay.
okay, I'll mark him absent till he comes in. Corey?
Here.
Chris?
Here.
Shanda?
Here.
Okay. See a quorum will proceed. Let us know if Brad gets on. Okay, first item, approval of minutes. I'll entertain a motion to approve those when you're ready.
Move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the July 15th meeting. Is there any discussion or changes? Discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Barry?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Corey?
Yes.
Bo?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Shanda?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Next item is financial update.
The financial statements in your packet, the statement for July 2025. If there's any specific questions, I can certainly go through them, but I have nothing specific to point out.
Okay, any questions for the finances? Okay, entertain a motion to approve those.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Moved and seconded to approve July financial statements. Is there any further discussion? Discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Yes.
Brad?
Hey, Brad, was that you? Was that a yes?
Like our afternoons for walk.
I'll just mark him as being here. Corey?
Yes.
Bo?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Shanda?
Yes.
And Barry?
Yes.
Okay, financial passes. Brad, if that's you on the phone, you're cutting in and out, but we'll do our best to involve you here. So next item is item D, new business, Parks and Rec Conference.
Just want to let you know that the Parks and Rec Conference this year is in Fargo. It's in late September. As of now, it's my intention to have both myself and Carter attend. Carter attended last year, first time he's been there, and really got a lot out of it, I think, and really enjoyed it. And it was a worthwhile experience. So I'm going to have him go again. And like I said, right now the plan is that both of us would attend that. We don't go to really a whole lot of other educational sessions, but I think that's a good one to keep up with. Otherwise, that's all I got.
When is that?
That'll be the end of September.
Okay, any questions for that? All right, we will move into item E, number 1, Blacktail sublots 2 and 3.
We have some people in the audience I sure want to speak on that. Last month, as a reminder, we put out an option for that property, and we're waiting to hear back a response. And I think all those people are here. Give them a chance.
Okay, come on down. Just state your name for the record, please, when you're at the mic.
Good morning, Commissioner. Let me try that again. Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Tom Kalile. I'm an attorney representing the Zavalny family. I'm here today to talk to you about some of the history of the situation at Blacktail Dam. I have a document I'd like to share with you. If I can approach. So this comes around to you. I want to tell you what this document is. As I'm sure you heard at the last meeting, in 1994, the Williams County Park Board and the county began the process of selling off lots at Blacktail Dam. Now, as you've also probably heard before, prior to this, lots had been leased at Blacktail Dam without any kind of survey or designation. So you just had a cabin site out there, but it wasn't an actual lot or anything. And you can hear more about that from the people who were there and did it, but when that process happened, it was very chaotic. The surveyor basically had to go out and say, okay, Commissioner Wallstead, where's your boundary? And Commissioner Anderson, where's your boundary? And they figured it out based on what amounts of land people were actually using because there had been no survey prior to that. This document actually references that. This document is a memorandum prepared by the North Dakota Game and Fish in approximately 2003, and they're explaining this entire process to the governor's office. And they're doing that because the governor needed to sign off on a land trade. If you look at the second paragraph of this document, it talks about representatives of the Williams County Park Board and the North Dakota Game and Fish had met and agreed to three essentially promises. The county agreed it was going to survey and sell the lots at Blacktail. They were going to maintain public use areas and facilities at Blacktail, and they're going to protect the lake by attaching restrictive covenants to all the undeveloped lots and all the developed lots to prevent further development. We know from the record that's exactly what happened. The county did those three things. That's what the Game and Fish wanted. What did the county want? This is all in the second paragraph on page 2 in this document. Game and Fish agreed to do this, let the county sell all these lands Game and Fish agreed that if the county did those things, Game and Fish would terminate all of the public access easements on the developed lake lots that would be sold.
Hello?
And that happened. We know that happened. It's in the record. And the second thing was that a single lake lot, part of which extended onto existing North Dakota Game and Fish property, would be addressed. The parties agreed that a trade of small parcels of land between the Game and Fish and the board was mutually agreed upon as being the best option to address this problem. So going all the way back to 1994, as part of the privatization of Blacktail's developed lots, there was this agreement between Blacktail and the state, Game and Fish, that there would be a land trade of two pieces of property. Flip to the back page of this document. We have a nice little map of those two pieces of property. These are the two pieces of property that you've offered to lease to the Zavalny family. Well, as we look at those two pieces of property, you can see they were surveyed and carved out of the Game and Fish land directly to benefit lots 202 and 201, which are the Zavalny family lots, if that's not clear. Those are the lots we're here to talk about. So when this was surveyed and carved out, it was done to fix the access of the Zavalny family on the lot that they'd been occupying for 60 years. We know all of this from the record. This is clear in this document that that's what everybody's talking about. We're going to trade this land to fix the access issues on this lot. Now, it took a while. It took till 2003 for the state of North Dakota to sign the deed to do that. In the meantime, lots 201 and 202 were conveyed by this board to Jelaine Zavalny, who would be the mother of Zona Bjornson and Rick's her husband, and Greg Zavalny, the Zavalny family. So we know everything that is talked about in this memo happened. Where we've gotten to a breakdown today is now that the county has has this property. The county has offered to lease that to my clients. And I don't understand that. We're asking you to convey that directly to them. When Blacktail was subdivided, people received the lot that they had been occupying. That's what was paid for. And if you have questions about that, the county commissioner who was in charge of all that is sitting back there. He's the other bald guy in the room. My question for this board is, why would you lease this property to the Zavalny family and leave the same issue in place that you worked since 1994 to correct? The access issues are still there if you're leasing the property to the Zavalnys. Now they've got it with you. Now, okay, you've leased them the property, but you've leased it to them for 99 years. They'll still be here in 99 years. We will all be dead and gone in 99 years, but the issue would still remain. And 99 years from now, somebody like me will be in this room talking to somebody like you guys saying, hey, can we extend this lease? We don't need to have this problem continue. And the reason it shouldn't continue is no one else at Blacktail has been treated this way. Nobody else. There's nobody else with a 99-year lease at Blacktail. In 2008, Rick Gaffian asked to buy 25 feet of extra land from the park board and the county adjoining his lot because he had expanded his house and needed more space. This board approved that in 2008. In 2014, you did the same thing for Mark and Brenda Oilo. Land was sold from the county to expand these people's lots. There's no mention in the record of access issues. Yet they got additional chunks of land. You didn't lease it to them. So why should the Zavalny family be treated any different? Why should other members of the public be allowed to purchase adjoining land, but not the Zavalny family? And to be clear, it's land they already paid for. Remember, when Blacktail was subdivided, every single lot owner, anybody who was occupying a space out there and had paid rent to the county, was able to buy their lot for $995 or $999.95. That wasn't a per foot price. That wasn't a per acre price. You got your lot for that price. So when the Zavalnys paid you for that, they paid you for the entire area they were occupying. That would include the parts you later traded for. I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense here. All the way back to 1994, the goal was to complete the lot and fix the encroachment that was happening with the game and fish. That's why the land trade happened. So what we're asking you to do today is just fix this for once and for all. This should have happened at least in 2003 when the trade finally came through with the state, but it didn't. I can't tell you why. I was in college then. I mean, I wasn't here, but I know you guys weren't here. I absolutely understand that this is a problem you inherited. And if you read the records and the minutes from Blacktail Dam, and I have at this point, there's been problems out there with lots since the beginning. And so what I'm simply asking you to do is correct another problem that should have been addressed long ago, that you can easily correct. There's precedent that this board does this. Obviously, there's been no issues granting land to other people in the past. It's a simple solution that addresses this issue.
So
also-
you said this paragraph 2 on page 2.
Yes,
Where does this come from? This is your document, correct?
no, this is a North Dakota Game and Fish memo.
This whole thing is a North Dakota Game and Fish document, all of it.
Yep.
Where is this at? Why haven't we not seen it? Where did it come from?
It was in your records as well.
Okay.
I did an open records request to the county for everything related to Blacktail, and that document was in there. So it was in your county files related to Blacktail. That specific copy I have was produced by Game and Fish because the one I got from my open records request wasn't in order. And I understand those files were 30 years old and probably not organized the best, but that document was prepared by Game and Fish It was sent to the governor's office to explain the situation before the governor signed the deed. The deed is, and that's the deed the governor signed in 2003, conveying those two pieces in exchange for land the county had conveyed to the Game and Fish in 1997.
So do you have the deed?
Which
Do you
one?
have a copy of the deed for the lots in question?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Karen, have you seen any of this?
Yeah, Tom gave me a copy of this, what he has this morning, but I've also seen this before though, really. I mean, we have it in our record, but again, the whole issue really is that there isn't anything that says that I didn't even find any kind of draft deed selling this property to Greg Zavalny. And even if the board had done this in the past before, like in 2008, 2014, like Tom says, I wasn't the attorney there. I wasn't asking about that, and I wasn't even in the county with that. However, at this time, the park board is a public entity, and it cannot sell its property at less than market value to a private individual. So that's really why it boiled down to, and that's why we've offered a lease, really, because this park board has sort of taken the position that it's willing to lease different things to, or it's not a lease, it's an easement, to give easements to different property owners in Blacktail, like for our drainage easements and for our road and things like that. And that's why the easement was recommended to take care of this, really, because we've done this in the past. We can't sell it to him at unless it's at fair market value. And really, the only way to do that, though, really, is to find out if there are other people out there that might be interested in purchasing it, really.
Our position on that is, as I already stated, you already sold it. You're not selling it. I'm not asking you to sell it again. It was sold when you accepted the original check from Julaine Zavalny back in 1994. Everybody else in Blacktail received their lot, what they had, the space they had been occupying. That was the agreement between the county and the lot owners. That's what you did. I mean, and again, when I'm saying you, it's the royal you. You are the county. That is what the county did. So to say, well, we can't sell this, you already did. You already conveyed it. You already told the Zavalny family, if you give us this 99.99 or whatever it was check, you get the land you've occupied. This is not a new sale. This is you conveying after acquired title to somebody you've already conveyed the land to, which is a requirement of the law when you ever use the word grant in a deed. So we're not asking for you to sell land. We're asking you to fulfill the promise you made to the Zavalnys back in 1994 when this started.
But what they were selling at that time was platted lots of Blacktail, and this is not a Blacktail Dam subdivision, actually platted on the recorded plat. And these two sublots are not part of the recorded plat. They're not platted lots on the subdivision. They're adjacent to it.
I understand that, but
So, with respect, I appreciate your information. I guess the board needs to decide how we're gonna handle this. We've offered a 99-year free easement, correct? Right? I mean, that was our offer to settle
Yeah.
this, but 99 years isn't significant enough. I mean,
well, it's not permanent, right? It's 99 years.
yeah.
And so our preference would be to have you deed the property to the Zavalny family so that they can be treated the same way everybody else at Blacktail was treated when this happened. And remember, as part of the original deal with Game and Fish, you were required, like the deal was, you have to fix this lot. That's what the original deal was. This is not a new idea. It goes all the way back to 1994 that this is going to be fixed. And giving an easement, I don't see that as fixing the property. This is land that they've occupied for more than 60 years. giving a 99-year easement puts us in a position that 99 years from now, we have to fix this issue again, when there's no institutional memory, when nobody involved is still alive. And once again, we're right back where we started.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Mr. Kalile from the board? See, Mr. Zavalny, go ahead. Yeah,
I've got a couple other documents here that talk about.
yeah, push the button there or stand at the center mic, please.
A couple other documents that are in here in the minutes from 97, in the park board minutes. It says that Zavalny spoke with surveyor Coomer on the plat, and the plat should be ready by about April 10th. But there appears to be a problem with the east half of his lot, as Game and Fish and Bismarck claim that they own a portion of that lot. Commissioner Atoll moved, Smith seconded for Chairman Kalile and Zavalny to visit with Game and Fish to iron this out to a solution and come to the park board with a recommendation. All voting aye, motion carried. And then from
What month is that?
in 97, March 10th of 97. And there's another one here from Doug Coomer explaining several issues that were questioned in the survey of the lots. There was a cul-de-sac area by Mr. Lutz's, and lots 152, 151, lot 210. Also a pie-shaped area on Zavalny's lot, a sliver of land on the lot. Okay, so that's in there. And then there's also, when they had it come back to planning and zoning, it was signed off. Julian Gunlickson was the chairman of planning and zoning when this took place. And planning and zoning approved it, and Julian signed off on it. And then it went back to the commission. It didn't come back to me as the landowner. It didn't come back to the park board. I would assume that since Beth was handling the paperwork for the correspondence, she brought it to the county commission, and Dan Kalile signed off on it for approval, as did Beth sign off on it. And when Dan was in here a couple meetings ago, he explained that process. And then when Beth was asked about it in the meeting, she stated that that's the way it had taken place in that meeting, that portion of the Game and Fish land swap was to make that a complete lot. When you look at the map of that, when you pull that map up on the back page there and look at it, there was no other reason to make that land swap. I mean, to add it to the park board, inside my tree ring, what good is that to the park board? Nothing. When you look at that picture, it's pretty obvious what the land swap was for. As far as all the legalities of it, where it went wrong probably was that when it finally got completed in 2003, Beth didn't bring it to me, and she didn't bring it to the park board to get finalized. It went from planning and zoning to the commission, and then I would assume that Beth took it to the recorder's office to record it. It did get recorded, but it got recorded under Williams County Parks instead of added to Lot 201. If you want Dan to explain more of that process too, I'm sure he would be willing
Well,
to do that.
We're not going to place the blame on our county auditor. I mean, because to me, that's, I mean, to somebody's best recollection. Where is that document that you're talking about that was signed? She was supposed to take it. So it was recorded improperly.
Correct. It was put in Williams County Park Board's name instead of added to Lot 201 and 202.
So you're saying that back then, Beth was supposed to tell them to record this to your lot, not to Williams County Parks.
Correct.
Go ahead, Beth.
Number one, I never would have drawn up a deed because I am not an attorney. Number two, I would say that probably Game and Fish is the one that drew that deed up, not me or our legal staff at the time, because I don't have the expertise to drop deeds. So, and I just do basically what I'm told to do. So if I was told to take this to the board, I took it to the Board of Commissioners, and
It would have been up to, if, at that point, it would have been up to the Parks Board to convey that to the Zavalny family,
right,
right?
so,
So, I mean, I thank
Yeah.
you for that, and I don't want to cut you off. This is why we offered the 99-year easement, is so we didn't have to go through all this shit. So, pardon my French, but this is frustrating. I understand it's frustrating for you, but we're dealing with a 20-year-old problem. So, board, how do we want to handle this?
May I make one comment, Mr. Chairman?
Briefly, please.
After the last time that I was here, I went out to Fish and Game.
You're gonna have to get closer to the mic.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know better than that. After the last meeting that I was here for the park board, I went out to Fish and Game and sat down with Kent Luchwager. And the first thing that Kent said was, this was the whole point of the land swap. That's why the land swap was done, to fix this lot. Then I contacted Fred Reichman, who said the same thing when I got him on the phone. He's down in Bismarck now. He said this was the whole point of the land swap, to make this lot whole, much like we made all the other lots whole at Blacktail that the people were using. That was the whole point of it. So then Fred went one step further. He went over to Fish and Game. I don't know if you guys remember Fred Reichman, but he was running the Fish and Game office here. He was a fisheries biologist. He went over to Game and Fish. He's retired now, but he went over to Game and Fish, pulled all these documents out. At the same time, Kent Luchwager printed out everything that he had, which was about this thing. And they both said the same things. The ball was dropped after the commission signed off on it. Julian signed it, I signed it, all of us making the assumption that it would be recorded. The one person that's not here today, besides Luchwager and Reichman, is Tom Selby. Tom Selby carried this whole project because he was the one we thought that had the ability to put all of this together. He was at all the meetings with us. He took this on. He declined to come today because his health issues with the cancer that he's been going through, he just doesn't have the strength to be here, or he would have been here today. But Greg has talked with him many times about this, and Tom would tell you the same thing. So it doesn't matter what particulars you have now. All of these people that were involved are telling you this was the goal of the whole thing. This was the goal of the land swap, to make this lot whole, not to kick it down the road for 99 years, gentlemen and Shonda. This is a very simple thing that should be fixed. This is the right time to do the right thing. Let's fix this problem now.
Okay,
Should
thank
have
you.
been fixed then, but it wasn't.
Thank you.
Any questions for me, let me know.
Okay. What's the wishes of the board? How do you want to handle it?
Is there what's a legal mean for just saying we're gonna change the owner on a deed. I mean, I don't know what precedent exists for that.
Well, it's really not a matter of just changing the name on a deed. You just have to convey it from whoever has it now to somebody else, really. So you can't, I mean,
So I mean, what I'm gathering, their version of intent was that these lots were just to be conveyed. Part is their lot, 0 fee. I mean, it looks to me, that's your position, correct?
That is the position.
Otherwise,
Yes,
why would
I
you
mean,
change
that's
the
what
name?
you've presented to us.
Yes, and to be clear, we're not asking you to convey this land as you would have to deed it over. But the objection I'm hearing from your counsel is that, well, we can't do that without being paid fair market value. Well, that was established in 94 when you agreed to this deal. Again, I'm saying, when I say you, I'm talking about Williams County and the Park Board. So saying it has to be purchased, it was already purchased is our point. This is essentially correcting a title issue. It's not conveying new property. Yes, you'll have to sign a deed, but you're correcting a title issue. You're conveying land that you already agreed to convey and already were paid for. So this is not a scenario where the law as to selling a piece of property for fair market value applies. It's already sold.
So therefore, it's a
Go ahead.
correction deed.
I guess the question I would have, if that's the case, that we supposedly, sold this to Greg already at the time that we sold those lots to, why does not the deed for the lots he's got now include these two sublots in, really? If that was the idea that they purchased all of those things, the two lots in Blacktail subdivision, and then these two sublots, why are they not included in the deed in the first place, really?
Well, wouldn't that be because the land swap took so long to complete that the lots were transferred prior to this land swap being done? And I mean, I think it's fairly clear. I agree that the only reason you would even do this is to square them up. I mean, I don't see why it would even went, why would you bother, right? So, I'm not entirely sure
We got a
how to
commissioner here
word,
who's got a
I'm not
comment.
too sure how to word this, but I would.
It's a correction deed
I
for
would make a
intent.
motion to convey or convey these two tracks to, I don't know, the Zavalny family or whoever, I don't know who's on the deed, but the parties.
Appropriate language. It's Greg Zavalny and Rick and Zona Bjornson, but I can get the appropriate language.
Mike, get to the mic. please.
That's what he said, yeah.
But it's a correction deed. is all
Just
you
a
need.
second, Brad. There's a motion on the floor. So when we get to discussion, I'll call you now.
second?
Okay, been moved and seconded. Corey's got a discussion, then I'll get to you, Brad.
I guess the only thing I have is I wish we would have had this a long time ago, because this makes it all right. And Dan, since they blamed Beth for this, I'd say you were the one who was on the park board, so we can't blame Beth. I mean,
Let's blame
that's-
him.
But, well, I agree. I mean, and I'm not trying to, but I just want to make it clear that it was not Beth's fault that this happened. So, and they do happen, but I don't want it pointed at our auditor.
Yeah, Brad, do you have a discussion?
Well, it's a correction deed stating intent, original intent of the deed. And I've seen these before, and I'm sure the attorneys will state the same thing. It can be done. You should state intent. That's all I have.
All right. Any other discussion on this motion? Karen, you have input?
Yeah, and if that's what you're going to do, it can't really be corrective deed because the deed originally came from State Game and Fish to the park. So although if we are going to create a deed to do this, I mean, I could put something in the deed about a little bit of the history in there so that there's something documented in the record as to why we're doing this, really.
I think you need to. I do believe you need to. If we do this.
Thank you. Any other Discussion. Does anybody need a recap of the motion? Okay. All right. Roll call vote, please.
Brad,
Yay.
what'd he say?
Yay.
Yay?
What is the motion? I'm sorry.
The
I'm
the
sorry.
motion is to convey the two tracks to the proper deed owners.
Yes, yes.
Corey,
Yes.
Bo,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Shanda,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Okay. Motion passes. Thank you.
Gentlemen, thank you for cleaning up our.
I am.
No problem. So, I mean, thank you for the documentation because these are the documents we've been asking for and have not received them. So through the public records request, it worked. So this part worked. So thank you. All right, North Dakota Council on the Arts.
Hey, just want to give you a quick update. This is in regards to the. This is North Dakota Council on the Arts is in regards to the Arts Across the Prairie project that we've kind of looking around for a place. I've really, done a lot of searching myself what I think we should do. I've talked to more than just a couple board members. I've talked to people at Blacktail. I've really reached out to a lot of places, and I don't think the site at Blacktail is the right spot. And I think we've come up with a better one. I think we're gonna hold off for just a minute, moving on with that. But I think I've worked with the Council on the Arts to come up with another site, and I'm pretty confident that by this time next month we'll be able to move forward with that and let you know. But not gonna be on not gonna be at Blacktail, not gonna be on anything that's Parks property, but right now. But gonna look forward. Just want to let you know that we're moving forward with that, and I think we're going in the right direction.
All right, any questions from the board? Okay, let's go to master plan update, Lookout Park.
Okay, I'll go through these really quick just to kind of make sure you guys know where we're at. Lookout Park has 2 items left that need to be completed. One, there's some slope on a parking spot that's supposed to be ADA accessible that's a little bit off, so they're gonna have to go back through and fix that. The other thing is to connect to rural water. They just ran into a hiccup. The original plans that we got for that showed rural water to be in the ditch by the park, and then as reality turned out, it's actually underneath the road, so it just kind of held up planning a little bit. But I know Three Forks picked up all the equipment they need for the meter pit, and they're moving forward with that now. Coteray Dam, we have a couple things that we're just cleaning up there. Site number 5 had a leak somewhere along in the water line, and so we had water bubbling up and a little sinkhole, but we're working on that, get that figured out. Site 3, we have a little drainage issue. It doesn't drain right, and so it tends to flood and it doesn't work. We're working on that. And then the other drainage issue is on the north side of the park, on the south side of the road is washed out a few times. So the engineers and architect are kind of deciding what to come up with that plan, because we've had a couple bad washouts with the storms we've had. Oh, and there's one other culvert that got an old culvert that I'm not sure how or what happened, but it got buried, and got to dig that out. All this water has kind of created a little swamp down there, so just another issue got to clean up. But as far as those 2 parks, those are the couple things we have left, and that's it. I'll skip Blacktail for just a second. I'll go down to Epping Springbrook Dam. Gabby, do we have that picture we can pull up? So we, moving forward with the master plan, our goal is that we want to, we kind of know where we're at with Blacktail, except for a community building. I expect the community building will have something to present next month with us moving forward in the direction we're going. Epping Springbrook Dam, the goal is that we will we'll start bidding out at least parts of that this year still. We're looking at the entryway road. The original plan was to do a lot of earthwork and reroute the way we went in. We're still considering that option, but we're looking really closely at an option to diverting the route just a little bit to help with the slope and then paving that road. Just think it might be more economical, just to pave it, and that will help with a lot of our issues. So looking between those two options right there, but also we have plans. Are we able? Oh, there we go. So also we do have some tentative plans for what we're looking at. With both Blacktail and Coda Ray Dam, we really turned over every single piece of dirt. And with Epping Springbrook Dam, it's a big property, and we don't necessarily need to. I think it's a waste of money to turn over every piece of dirt. So we kind of got to pick and choose our battles here and pick and choose areas where we want to do work, and then kind of leave the other areas kind of as they are, just to kind of eliminate that earthwork, which ends up being such a large portion of the expense. But you see, this is our tentative plan right now. That with this plan, it's just we do go in a little further in the road on the entry road, just to create the other issue. Not only with the slope with the road going is also just how short the approach is. I mean, if you're sitting on the top there currently and you're sitting with your camper looking to pull out, and someone else is coming in on that road trying to get their camper in, it is tight and there ain't a lot of room. So that's one other thing we're looking at. Well, but otherwise, in general, you can see, like, for the most part, the path, not a lot has changed. We did kind of, as you're going north about halfway through, we kind of put in a little bank of campsites there, and then we go a little further down and add another bank of a few sites. But really, that's our tentative plan right now. We're still working out the kinks, but our goal is to get that bid out before the end of the year. And then I don't have a slide for Little Egypt, but just to give you an update on Little Egypt, our goal is every year we have to submit our annual maintenance plan, our annual management plan to the Corps of Engineers on March 31st. So our goal is to have our plan finished before March 31st, and then there's no way they'll have it approved by, anytime we can do anything in 2026. But hopefully we have it approved that then we can start construction at Little Egypt in 2027. Either way, if everything keeps moving as we planned, by end of March 26, we should have a pretty good price tag for everything except McGregor. Even though we won't have it all paid for, we'll have a good price tag, and we'll know where we sit with everything and be able to make really good financial decisions on these last couple parks, what we want to do. So then going back for the master plan, we'll circle back to Blacktail real quick. If you want to go up to the one that has, right there, we can talk about that first. So that's the beach sites. It's two pictures that look exactly the same. I'm sure there's something different, but originally oh no, they're not the same. The one on the left is the old plan, and the one on the right's the new plan. On the one on the left, we have 10 sites, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we decided, the board decided that they wanted to cut them back. So you see the one on the right has 5 sites, all of them down on that lower south side. And then the other thing we did is we did move the restroom a little further away from the property to the north, and just kind of moved everything a little further away from there, just to kind of give that buffer. So that plan on the right is pretty much what we're looking at moving forward with. They said minimal, just trying to cut it back to make it a nice little area, not jam too much in there. But I know there's some concern. I have met with a couple of the landowners right over there. Everyone seems pretty happy that we listened to their input, and made adjustments accordingly. So that's moving forward. The plan is that we'll start construction on this next spring. And then if you want to scroll up to the one up above there. Yeah, so we can zoom into that a little bit. That's kind of the picture of the whole lake, but this shows the trails we got going on. And they are working fast on the trails right now. It's crazy how fast it's going. So that's good right there. You can, that's even better. So at the southwest corner there, I'm not sure if that's a little blue dotted line in that area, but all of those trails are cut out, materials, weed barrier materials putting down, and I'm sure a lot of, I haven't been out there for a couple days, but they already had a lot of rock out. I wouldn't be surprised if most, all of that isn't already gravelled and ready to go. So that's a 3-foot nature trail. The next thing they'll start is those on the yellow all the way around. That's that 6-foot wide trail. All of it's crushed rock. You will see on that trail all the way around, there are a few areas where there's a couple gaps in the trail, mostly on the east side. So right now, you know, you can see on the trail, we're using the dam, the top of the dam as the trail to connect on. And then going to the north and then the west, you know, if you're going to the north along the dam and then you follow the dam, the first part of the trail we're going to use is that frontage, or is that interior road. We really, in the future, we could look at making a specific trail, but we'd end up having to take out a lot of trees, and just not ready to do that when right now we have a 400-foot, 450-foot section of interior road, so it's not even a busy road. So for now, we're just going to use that. We moving up above just to the very northeast corner, or where the road comes in from the north there, that's a real pinch point. And again, we have about a 200 to 300-foot section where we right now we're just going to use the road. We have some other ideas. It would add, we'd have to go around things, and there's a big deep ravine there, Coal Ravine, something, whatever, as the water runs in. So we're still kind of working out the kinks in that area. Otherwise, I mean, right now, I don't know, I'm guessing we're somewhere between 6 and 7 miles of trails. We're expecting 6 to 7 miles of trails to be done here in a few weeks. They're moving fast on it. It's really exciting. If you haven't been to Blacktail, it's really neat time to go out there. A lot of things changing. Actually, I know that J.E. Dunn Thursday is going to have having a drone come in and take a lot of photos and video, just because of all the changes that are happening. It's really kind of neat. Can we go to, in the packet, can we go to one of the colored maps of Blacktail near the back? It would look something like this. It was in the packet. So the plan right now, moving on with Blacktail, is they're either the week before or the week after Labor Day, the pavers will come in. So right now they're doing everything they can do to get ready for them. So once they get there, they can keep them working. The goal would be that the main road that goes through the campground, north of that, so all of the main campground that we've known before, to get all of that paved this fall. And then as soon as they're done with that, the area on the other side of that road, so the basically the new group campground, then we would hopefully still be able to get all that paved this fall. And if that's done, all they got left in the spring is landscaping. I mean, they're still doing the bathrooms, they're still doing those, but for the big dirt work, the big move, all that, they can get all that paving done here, you know, by Halloween, or whenever Mother Nature doesn't let us pave anymore. I mean, all they got left is landscaping in the spring for that whole section. So that's really exciting, hoping the weather cooperates. I mean, we're doing good on timeline. It's really good. So master plan, I think Blacktail, I think, kind of covered everything. It is really neat if you get a chance to go out there, even though they haven't done paving, even in the Mave campground. If you just go in there, you can see where the sites are and how they're going to set up. It's just really starting to come together. So really excited about that. I think probably, I know I jumped around a little bit, but I think for master plan, I think I probably covered all of them, unless someone has any specific questions.
Okay, anybody have any questions for master plan update? Good. All right. Anything for parks update?
Just real quick, I just got a couple things I want to mention. I did get a call yesterday from the Soil Conservation District. He was doing his water sampling at Blacktail Dam, and he did see at Blacktail Dam a couple different spots where they had blue-green algae. So he did send it in and waiting to get back the results. Another interesting thing about Blacktail Dam, last year at the very end of the year, the Soil Conservation District contacted me because the first site they tested water at the coming out of the dam was a lot higher in E. coli than they'd like to see. And they couldn't figure out why, because the dam itself, none of the tests in the dam itself showed it. So this year they added a spot directly outside of the dam. As soon as the water comes out of the dam, they added it this year. It takes a while to get water results back. We've only gotten 2 back from this year, but directly coming out of the dam, the E. coli levels are normal. And then a mile down, something like that, a mile downstream, there's a dramatic increase in it. So it's not the dam, there's something in between, which is good news for the dam, because we were worried about that when we first heard that. And now we can minimize the area where the problem is, and or the Soil Conservation District is, and can help find it and clean that up. So so good news, I guess. And then not good news that we got blue-green algae, but it's there. They did find it in a couple different spots, and he sent, like I said, he sent in a sample. Speaking of watercolor, we don't have blue-green algae at Epping Springbrook Dam, which is good. And really very, very little even signs, and just going good out there. I think otherwise, I think just in general, camping's going well. I mean, everything, parks are running pretty much like they should. Kind of gets to be a grind this time of year, especially for me and my crew. In general, my guys, I have one of my college kids left, and he starts school this week. But he goes to school in here town, so he'll be just working when he can. So Carter and I will be doing a lot more weed eating, but to get us through this weird rain year, is normally we're kind of done mowing and weeding, but this year it's just getting into the heart of it. So we're going to be busy. My guy, I still got my 3 other seasonal older guys that are going to keep mowing and everything, but Carter and I have to follow him through with weeding. Otherwise, we're plugging along. I think we're going to get through this summer. I think we're going to make it.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for your hard work.
Thanks,
Any
guys.
questions for Jeremy? Seeing none, we will schedule next meeting September 16th, and we will adjourn 9:43.